Some Virginia taxpayers are getting an early Christmas present. Starting today, Virginians can take advantage of a tax amnesty program that forgives and forgets if you pay up late taxes within the next 60 days. If you owe back taxes to the state of Virginia, you have this limited window of time to pay up with no penalties and half the normal interest charges. And joining us now to discuss the program is Joel Davison of the Virginia Department of Taxation. Joel, thanks for joining us.
Good afternoon, Bob. Nice to be here.
Now, who does this apply to?
This applies to individuals and businesses, basically, in the state of Virginia who owe back taxes that were assessed 90 days ago up till July 9th. But that's basically a wide open. Anybody owes taxes before that time.
Okay. So what do you have to do to take advantage?
What you have to do, well, first of all, you should have received an amnesty notice, or you will soon. And I'm looking at some samples now. They're very clear about what you owe and the total amount due, as well as what the amnesty amount due. And there could be a substantial difference between the two, because a lot of people are letting these bills go, and the interest and penalties are piling up. So people can save a lot of money. If they have questions about their accounts, they should call into our toll-free number and ask any questions they want, or go to our website.
All right. So when you talk about the outstanding tax bills, everybody who has outstanding tax bills should be getting a notice, you're saying, right?
Yes.
Now, what about if you've got a delinquent return from a year or two ago and you haven't filed it yet, so you don't have a tax bill?
Right. Well, if you know you should have filed and you did not, you may or may not still get a notice. But what you need to do, you need to file those back returns no later than December 5th, which is the closing day of amnesty this time. And you need to get those returns in and basically pay the tax you owe. And you should call our toll-free number. We've got many reps on the line during the day and actually half a day Saturday to talk to you about, okay, well, what kind of penalties are, and what's my interest, what's the total I would pay. You wouldn't pay the penalties, but you would pay half the interest, and you would need our help to calculate that. And there actually are on our website, and there's an amnesty calculator to help you with those calculations. Now,
so the idea is then if you haven't filed yet, you'll file your return, figure out how much you owe, and you do want the payment by December 5th also on, and you'll have to get some help figuring out what half the interest would be.
Yes, there's a calculator, but as long as it's postmarked by December 5th, it will be accepted. But anything after that will not be.
Okay. Now, the other question is as far as a penalty, there is, I understand, a big penalty if you don't take action by December 5th, correct?
That's correct. Like most amnesty programs, and many states are offering these now, if you are eligible to take advantage of amnesty, this is a big benefit to taxpayers. It's going to help the state, but it's also a great thing for taxpayers in this recessionary period we're in. But if you do not pay during this time and you're eligible, you will owe an additional 20% penalty on the tax you owe. And the full penalty and full interest will also be back on your account after December 5th.
So an incentive there. Now, what if you're, in dire straits, like, well, for instance, maybe it involves an estate and, the house isn't going to be sold during this time period and they just don't have the money to pay, though? Is it fair that you tax them another give them a 20% penalty on top of that if they just don't have the money now?
Well, it's hard to decide who should, it's really hard to say, we understand there are a lot of hardship cases out there.
Yeah.
They need to call in, and unfortunately, for some taxpayers, this will not help them. But we can't really draw a line so it's going to help you, but not you. You can take advantages of it, but you can't. We basically have to offer this to all delinquent taxpayers at this time, businesses and individuals, and my understanding is that all the tax must be paid. You can't, for instance, go into a payment plan and pay beyond the time. And this does not also apply to people who are under investigation.
Does not apply to them?
No. If you're in a fraud case or something, you cannot take advantage of this.
Okay. All right. Joel Davison of the Virginia Department of Taxation, I want to thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
And now for more information on Virginia's tax amnesty program, which ends on December 5th, call 1-888, that's toll-free, 560-0057, or go online at www.getsquareva.com. And now let's send it to Mel in Stanton.